He was from Boston. And I couldn't understand him half the time, and he couldn't understand me. I was right beside him 4 times when he got hit and got shot. They come at us and had a bunch of young, like kids, that rushed in on us. And so we opened up on them, you know, and I held them back. And some of the guys got killed and stuff, and some of us didn't. Well, you know how that goes.
People should realize that veterans are different, but they're special. And they need all the kindness and love we can show them.
Vietnam War Marine Richard Merriman and his wife Becky have a fascinating story.
We were married 1 week and he went to Vietnam.
Richard fought along the DMZ in late 1967 and 1968. He fought at the Battle of Khe Sanh, and as I'm sure you can imagine, that had a dramatic impact on his life and his wife Becky.
I knew something was wrong, but I loved him, and I thought, you know, we're gonna work through this. And we had some hard times, but we made a promise to each other and a commitment to God that we would take care of each other.
Today on the show, I have a very open conversation with Richard and Becky Merriman about their lives before, during, and after the Vietnam War. They talk about the very difficult times in their marriage and the decades they truly did not understand Richard's trauma from the war.
Back then, they didn't talk about PTSD. That was not even mentioned.
This is a conversation that will resonate with any combat veteran and is an opportunity for anyone to understand the realities for veterans, their spouses, and families in the years after the war is over. My name is Josh Roe, and this is Tomorrowtown, Tennessee.
Let's talk a bit.
Okay.
First of all, just thank you for talking to me and telling me part of your story.
Yeah. Okay.
Have you ever told your story publicly like this before?
No, sir, I hadn't.
Yeah. How do you feel about that right now?
Well, at first I was kind of nervous about it, you know, and I thought, well, you know, there ain't nothing to be nervous about. Just answer your questions.
So many of you guys came home and didn't talk about it. So a lot of this history never got...
I don't talk about everything, you know, but there are some things I can talk about because I've had some funny things and I've had good times and all, you know, but then I've had some rough times. But I thank the Lord that He allowed me to come back. So thankful for that, you know.
Absolutely. Tell me about growing up. Did you grow up in this area?
Yeah, I grew up in a children's home about 3 miles from here. You ever heard of Bachman Home?
Yes.
You have?
Yes.
I grew up there. Then Mr. Flug came, and that's Becky's father, he's a Presbyterian minister, and he really changed our home, you know, to good, because he was a real good man.
Is that when you met your wife?
Yeah, and that's where I met my wife. We was milking cows. I had to get up and milk cows, you know, 4 o'clock in the morning. So when Becky first came and I seen her, I just made a comment, you know. I said, "Danny, boy, you sure got a good-looking sister." And that's all it took.
And
He
then
went
he
and told her. He went and told her, said, "Richard likes you."
So we just, you know, started out like that with friends, and then 5 years later we were married. And we were married 1 week and he went to Vietnam.
So when you guys got married, you knew what was happening and all the things.
And it was hard. It was very hard.
They sent us to California.
Yeah.
We was there for at least 5 months at least, I guess, somewhere around there. And they had 60 quotas to go to Nam. So 60 of us volunteered. And I didn't know whether that was going to be a mistake or not, but I done signed up, so we went through the training, you know, and then they sent us to Vietnam. And
What year did you get there?
67.
Remember what month it was?
I think October, wasn't it? October.
October 67.
So, or September, one of them two.
Somewhere in the fall, though. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so we went there, and of course we was put in Echo Company.
You were Echo 2-1.
2-1.
Echo
yes.
2-1. Did you fly into Da Nang?
Da Nang, that's it.
That's where you started? Okay.
The started there, and then they shipped us out, you know, to the where the other guys were. And it's about 2 miles west of Da Nang. And we was there for about 3 weeks.
Tell me about the first time you realized you were in combat. Like it wasn't training anymore, and these are live rounds, and this is for real. When did that happen? When
I was still down near Da Nang out there. We went out on, first time I went out on patrol, well, our captain got shot right in the chest here. I mean, it just missed his heart. And I said, holy smokes. I said, this is real stuff. And I got scared, you know. But I just, my sergeant, you know, whom over our squad, he said, Richard, don't just keep cool, stay low. He said, don't get up until we have to move. And then when they do, he said, keep your body low, and you know, and stuff like that. You know, he really was a good help to me, because when he done got, I was right beside him 4 times when he got hit and got shot.
He got shot how many times?
He got shot 4 times, and I was as close as that arm thing right there to him. And I never got hit, but he in fact, one time we was going to get a hot meal, and they brought the truck and everything and had it ready, and they called me and Darlin's name. His name was Dan Darlin. He was from Boston. And I couldn't understand him half the time, and he couldn't understand me. He was funny, but we turned out to be real good friends, you know, and he helped me a lot, because I had to carry the machine gun, you know, after he left.
So you were carrying an M60?
M60, yes.
Was your MOS a mortarman?
Yeah.
So did you...
But when I got there, they said, we need 2 machine gunners, you and you. So that's how I ended up being a machine gunner. And I didn't know nothing. I shot them during practice, you know, during ITR, but I mean, that wasn't nothing, you know, so that's how I done it. But I got good at it, because he taught me good.
Normally they give that to the big guys because it's heavy. You're not the biggest guy.
No. But anyway, I forgot what I was.
Your hot meal.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry. I got you off track.
Yeah. Anyway, we was called up, you know, to go and get a hot meal. So we got up and went towards where they were at, and it went by the underground hospital. And we got incoming rounds, and it picked me and him up and throwed us about the end of that cabinet right there, just throwed us forward. So we got back up and run towards the hospital, and they put big mounds in front of the doors that don't have doors, but the opening. So we climbed and slid down it. And when we got in there, there's two big old German shepherds sitting there going, "Argh." So me and him turned around and went back up over the hump and went back to our hose. We didn't get no hot meal. We said, hey, we've had enough of this. So we ran back, and then he said, I went to his foxhole first, you know. And we were sitting there and we were just talking because we was kind of shook up. And he said, man, Richard, my legs are burning. And he pulled his pants down and he got hit. A lot of shrapnel in his legs. And he said, where's yours at? And I said, I ain't got none. And he went, you don't have any? I said, no. I mean, we used to laugh about this. Because so he said, Richard, you're a jinx to me. You got to stay away from me. So then there's another time we was at another place setting up and everything, but while we was doing it, we was playing cards. I mean, we was just right outside just playing cards, you know, and everything, and all of a sudden, he fell over. I said, darling, get up. It's your time to shuffle. And he went, I got hit. And nobody even heard it. And he got shot in the neck right there and come out right here. So they flew him off in a helicopter, and about 30 or 40 minutes later, he come back. He had Band-Aid on it. That's all it was.
You got shot through the neck and you just had a Band-Aid on it.
Yeah,
oh
I mean, it was funny. Well, I went, God, no, darling. I said, it looked like they'd put more on it than that. He said, I was lucky it was a clear shot and it didn't hit no bones or nothing, just right through the meaty part of it.
Trap or whatever, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell me about Khe Sanh. So you said you got there September, October, and you stayed around Da Nang for a few weeks. And so you got to Khe Sanh November, somewhere around in there?
No. It was still October.
Probably October.
Yeah.
Of 67 in Khe Sanh. And you said you were there for about 3 months. So,
yeah.
So you were there through
Tet.
So you were in Khe Sanh when Tet hit?
When Tet hit. And it was pretty rough, but not quite like Khe Sanh.
Right.
Khe Sanh.
But you weren't far from Khe Sanh. You were kind of in the same.
No, we was pretty close. Yeah.
Same part of the country for sure.
Oh yeah, we was up on a hill.
Oh, okay.
Not not way up, but just kind of above a lot of stuff.
I got you.
I got you. But we was about a mile from DMZ. In fact, we used to go into North Vietnam, but we wasn't supposed to tell anybody. Out
on patrols?
On patrol, yeah. Because he'd tell us, said, don't say where you was at. So, because we wasn't allowed to be in North Vietnam,
Tell me about that. Tell me about those patrols. How did that go?
Well, we'd go on patrol, we had to go across the river there. And we run in, sometimes we have run into combat over there. But they live just, since you went over there, just crossed there. Once you got within 200 or 300 feet inside it, you're going to come up on somebody sooner or later, because they camp out right there. You know, and then they'll come across the river and set up and shoot at you and all kind of stuff, you know. Got pretty hectic, you know what I mean?
Tell me about, like you said, pretty hectic. And I know you guys got shelled pretty good. Tell me just kind of.
Oh, we got shelled every day. I mean, that's them 3.5 rockets they'd shoot at us. Of course, we had bunkers, you know, that we lived in. But if one hit you direct, it would probably, you'd be in heap of trouble. Thien stands for Place of Angels. I never did see any, but I'm sure they were there watching over us.
Richard fought there for a few months. Then he was given R&R.
They sent you to Pearl Harbor, I think?
No, we went to, well, yeah, but we went to Hawaii.
Becky traveled from Tennessee to meet him there.
I met him on R&R, which was even harder because I knew he was different. And I knew a lot of what he was going through now, and I was more scared.
This was 1968. Richard and Becky didn't know about PTSD back then, and they were not prepared to handle what would happen next.
It's in the evening, I think, and I was resting. And I don't know what went through my mind, but I jumped on Becky and started choking her.
So I woke him up, and
she woke me up.
he went to the car to sleep. He was scared he's going to hurt
me. That shook me up. I said, no, man, I can't. That ain't right. That ain't right.
Well, the thing is, back then they didn't talk about PTSD. That was not even mentioned. And, you know, you dealt with what was given to you.
And before they could even begin to understand what just happened, Richard's break from the war was cut short.
Everybody that went, we had to leave early, you know, so put us back on the plane, and I didn't get to see Becky too much. After that, that was it. But anyway, we got back, and there's another thing. When I got back, that's when they went to, was almost to Khe Sanh.
The Battle of Khe Sanh was from January to July of 1968.
About March, I think, something like that.
They were in between a place called Rockpile and Khe Sanh.
We still got, you know, overrun and had mortars coming in.
You said you got overrun. Tell me about that.
Well, they come at us and had a bunch of young, like kids, that rushed in on us. And so we opened up on them, you know, and I held them back. And some of the guys got killed and stuff, and some of us didn't. Well, you know how that goes. And they sent them rockets in, you know, at us at that time too. So you have to watch out for them. You just pray that them don't land in your back pocket. You know, because you can't really control them, you know. You're just lucky that they don't land that close to you to get hurt. Grenades going off, and it gets rough. But they say, well, I get hit. So hopefully I don't. Now I have got hit. I got hit twice, yes. Well, I got hit once, and then the other time I fell on a punji stake. You know what a punji stake is?
I do. Tell me that story.
And we got shot at. You know, we was going up this trail, and we got shot at. Come on the fire, rather. Let's put it that way. So when you hit the deck, well, I landed in like a ditch, and then it got me right there. I don't know if you can see it. I got shot right through here, right through my hand, and it come out right here. But it hurt, but they took care of it, right through that, right like that. So, anytime you get wounded, they give you a Purple Heart. Yeah.
So you got one for when you fell on the punching stick, and one when you got shot in the hand.
Yes.
How do you think about that today? The fact that you saw so much dangerous combat.
Well,
and nobody wants to get shot in the hand or fall on a punching stick, but compared to what could have happened, how do you think about it?
You don't really think about stuff like that. You're just glad that you're still living when you get wounded, you know what I mean? And I'm glad it ain't your arm is gone or your legs are gone or anything like that. You're just thankful, you know, that it's not no worse than what it is. You know, I mean, you don't like it, but that's the way it is, you know, combat. Yeah. Even when you see your friends get ripped to pieces, you know, it just tears you to pieces. I mean, it's like your brother. I mean, that's kind of like the way you look at it. You're all brothers because you really are. And you have to take care of each other. So when one of them gets killed or gets hurt real bad, it tears you up.
He was gone to Vietnam and he came back, and like I said, he was a different person. I knew something was wrong. But I loved him, and I thought, you know, we're going to work through this. And we had some hard times, but we made a promise to each other and a commitment to God that we would take care of each other.
I told her, I said, if you ever leave me, I said, I'm going to pack my bag and go with you because I ain't staying here by myself. That's exactly what I told her.
Finally, when PTSD was, you know, starting to be known, I didn't even think anything about it till he started the passing out.
About a decade ago, Becky had to have a surgery, and that scared Richard. He was afraid she would not survive it. Then he started passing out.
I didn't know what to do, so I took him to the VA. Mm-hmm. And we went to Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
And that's when they said, this man has severe PTSD. You've got to get him in to the VA psychiatrist. So that's what we did.
What year would that be, you think?
That was only 9 years ago.
Mm. So you guys lived for 50 years.
Right, not knowing what was going on and dealing with it in our way. But thank God, you know, they gave him the treatments, helped him a lot. Like he says, he still has nightmares. But that's okay.
Richard, you're well aware of all the things you guys been through and how hard that was for you to navigate it. Tell me just what you feel about Becky and how she's kind of been with you through all that and stayed there and helped you through all those things.
Well, when I first met Becky, I really did fall in love with her. I had ups and downs, you know, but Becky, she loved me and I knew it, and her father and mother helped me out a lot, and her brothers too, and her sister, and they're
very close.
We were real close, and so they kind of helped me out, you know, in a lot of ways, and so it helped me get through it, you know.
Military families
It's
incredible.
hard. Mm-hmm. They are.
Can you tell me about that? Just kind of like what is that in you that makes you stay, want to help, all those things?
Yeah, I had some hard times. I would cry myself to sleep a lot when he was gone. And then, like I said, especially after he R&R, I seen changes and he talked to me. So after that time, I really had a hard time. I could imagine where he was at, what he was doing. And so that, I just looked for those letters. And when I didn't get any for 2 or 3 weeks, I was so scared.
What was his personality like before the war?
He was always been funny and had fun with him. We did things, that were fun, and the only thing that ever bothered him was his mother and father, that they didn't have anything to do with him. And that's the only thing that ever bothered him. But we would talk about it and, work through that as best we could. He wanted some answers. He couldn't get them, and I said, that's okay. We're going to be all right. So that was before, but then when he came back, he had this other deep sense of, I don't know what it was. It was just anger almost. Mm-hmm. He had anger in him that I'd never seen in him before. And I didn't understand it at first. Well, actually, my father helped me to understand. He said, Becky, look what he's been through. First of all, he's rejected by his parents. He has to deal with that. And now he's seen things that hopefully other people won't see. But he's been through it. He's been through a war. It's affected him. You've got to understand that and be patient about it. So I got to thinking about it. And like I said, back then there was no help with PTSD or anything. You didn't even talk about it.
50 years is a long time to not have answers to why these things are happening.
Yes. People should realize that veterans are different, but they're special. And they need all the kindness and love we can show them.
I am so grateful that Richard and Becky Merriman shared their very important personal story with all of us. And I appreciate you for being here and listening too. Morrowtown, Tennessee. This podcast is a production of News Channel 9, Fox Chattanooga, and Sinclair Broadcast Group Chattanooga. I hope you join me again real soon.